Hey, deserving listeners, it's just me today. Today, I'm going to do a deep dive on emotion-focused therapy. This is particularly for patrons Amy and Benedict and several other listeners who have requested that I do a deep dive on emotion-focused therapy. It's one of the most prominent models of therapy today. I use it all the time. I actually use it on myself all the time. It's a powerful model for understanding the way we react to each other, particularly when we're having problems in our marriages in particular. And it's a powerful model for improving our relationships. It elegantly explains why we get so angry at each other, particularly our spouses, as I was saying, but even in any relationship, whether it's at work or anything like that. And emotion-focused therapy, or EFT, it provides an extremely useful and to some extent simple way to reduce that anger that we have towards each other and learn how to love each other better and how to have more healthy relationships. It's really no joke, and it's why it's so popular in the couple and family therapy world. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the history, the theory itself, the key ideas, the technique, how to be an EFT therapist. I'm going to talk about the evidence of its effectiveness, and I'm going to provide my take on it because I have a lot of takes on it. And I'm also going to talk about how you can use these techniques on yourself, which is what I do all the time. Welcome to the Psychology in Seattle podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and I'm also a professor. This episode is just for patrons of the podcast. So if you're listening to this and you're not a patron of the podcast yet, then this episode will end before the content begins. If you want to hear the full episode, you have to become a patron of the podcast by going to patreon.com. That's patreon.com. Become a patron of this podcast called Psychology in Seattle, and you'll get access to hundreds of patron-exclusive episodes, including this one, in which we do deep dives into various topics, sometimes related to psychotherapy and sometimes not so related to psychotherapy. Like, I recently did a deep dive on Game of Thrones character The Hound, Sandor Clegane, which is a patron-exclusive episode. And also remember that a portion of your monthly pledge goes towards various charities that we support.